We're going to do dead bug. This is one of my personal favorite moves that I do before I lift every time I'm in the gym. The reason this move is so amazing is because it starts to train just with our body weight, our ability to keep a neutral spinal position with a good rib and pelvis alignment while adding external load, which is like almost all the moves we do in the gym, but doing it well, and movement. So I want to give you a visual to start with first. The hips, the front of the hip points and the back of the hip points, so this whole pelvis, think of that as making a transverse plane through your body, which is this way, okay, flat, like a plate. And then the diaphragm also makes a transverse plane or a plate through the body. When those two plates are lined up together, that means our spine is in its neutral, strongest, safest position. When those plates start to open up from each other, we start to compromise our spinal integrity, and it makes it much more likely for us to injure ourselves in our movements. Or if it doesn't injure us right now, these are the places where we get degenerative joint disease in our spine because we're overloading and using structures more than they're meant to be. This is how we get all the structures around the belly to help join the party of load for the spine so that we can move well for a long time, which is what we're trying to do here. So you're going to use all the same principles from the 360-degree breathing, where you're letting the diaphragm push the belly, the sides, the back, and even the pelvic floor out. And you're going to take that breath in, hold it, and then move your leg just as far as you can while keeping the spine, the pelvis, the diaphragm neutral and parallel to each other. So this is really different from a lot of exercises that are taught out there because it has nothing to do with the shape you're making with your body. It's not about getting the foot to the floor and doing 10 of those. It's about how much positional tolerance can you develop for yourself. So if you're not doing these reps with care, there's no point. It's about tuning in to what your neutral feels like and fighting to keep that. I don't care what your leg does. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to show you what this looks like. If I can figure out where I am on this mat. So you're going to make that C shape with your hands so that your thumbs are on your back and your fingers are on your belly. You're going to use your breath to create that strong canister in your torso all the way around. And then you're going to lift your legs up. The legs are bent. The knees are a little bit closer to you than right over your hips. And your feet, your knees are a little bit wider than 90. Your knees are wider than hip width, and your feet are towards each other, although they're not touching. So this is our starting position. You're going to keep the leg the same shape as we begin to move it because we don't want to add too many variables here. We're just trying to separate the movement of our hip socket from the movement of our back so that we can do those two things separately, okay? So you're going to inhale into your belly, move one leg down just as far as you can without moving your back, bring it back up, and take another breath. I'm going to show you one now. I'm going to show you another one, but without my hand right here so that you can really see that there's no movement from here to here. My diaphragm is parallel to the plane of my pelvis. My spine is neutral, which doesn't mean your back is totally flat on the ground. Neutral for your lumbar spine does have a gentle curve in it, so I don't want you to force the curve out of it, but you're using the breath to stabilize where it is. So, again. And that is how you do a good dead bug.